Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Thursday. I hope everybody is having a great day and a good week. So listen, last night there were two shows that were on. I watched part of one and didn't make any notes, and that was The Golden Bachelorette. So I have to watch that tomorrow. And then today I watched The Housewives of Salt Lake City. That is what I'm going to be covering. So let's get to it. Okay, so Meredith and Lisa, they go to this fancy spa and they get massages. And Heather calls them in, is like, listen, I was at Bronwyn's house and you're never gonna guess what happened. And Lisa, of course, is like, oh my God, what? Join us. You can tell us. You can tell us what happened, or you can make up. What you think happened, but what didn't really happen. Well, she didn't say that, but she's like, girl, come up and join us. So they get their massages, and then they go out on this patio. Listen, that background was beautiful. So Heather joins them, and so in a nut roll, I was gonna say in a nut roll, in a nutshell. So I was saying, now I feel like I want a nut roll. In a nutshell, she basically was like, well, she wanted to invite me there to basically just tell me how much of a shitty person I am, and have me sing for my supper to get me invited, so I can be invited on this couples trip. That's not actually why she invited you there. She invited you there because she wanted to talk things out, apologize for her part in this, and so that they could move forward. She took ownership of what she did to contribute to like the ill feelings and the bad will between the two of you. But you didn't. You don't think that you do anything wrong, ever. So she wasn't there begging for you to like sing for her supper so she could invite you. I don't think she gives a crap. She's perfectly fine without you being there. And to be honest with you, why would you even invite Heather, a single woman? There's like a little fuzzy that's flying around. Why would you invite Heather, a single woman, on a couples trip? That doesn't make sense to begin with. So Lisa, now listen, Lisa brought Bronwyn on the show, and she has been her friend. But time and time again, the only person that Lisa stands up for or listens to between the two of them is Heather. That's it. So Heather, no, I'm not surprised, but Lisa doesn't stand up. Lisa doesn't stand up for Bronwyn, and she doesn't even just do that. So she throws her under the bus, and then she backs over her and then drives forward over her again, because she then has to add in a little problem that she has with Bronwyn. And that is, she says that she FaceTimed Bronwyn, and Lisa then claimed that Bronwyn asked if John is going to be okay with Justin. And she's like, why would John not be okay with Justin? John is the CEO of a company. Listen, please, Lisa, you have been on this show for how long? This is now your 5th season. You have been on since the very beginning. You know how this works. You know that they tape, they record, they videotape everything. Everything is there. You should know this because of the hot mic moment. But you should understand how this works. When you said that this is what happened, know that they're going to roll back that beautiful bean footage, and we find out exactly what she said. And Bronwyn had asked if they, meaning Lisa and John, were going to be okay being around Whitney and Justin, which is a valid question because this is a couple's trip to celebrate Bronwyn and Todd's wedding anniversary. So they would like for there not to be any kind of like big blow-ups. They want to enjoy this time. And this, by the way, this is not cheap. This is not like a cheap trip at all. So that's what she was asking. Are you guys going to be okay around each other? Are you going to be all right? That's it. Not what Lisa said. Also, Lisa was saying, it feels like she was saying that I feel like she thinks that John and I created the problem. And no, that's not what she's saying. She just doesn't want this anniversary trip ruined. She didn't say anything of such. And listen, if I'm being completely honest, Lisa Barlow, you did start this problem because of your reaction in this public place. Your reaction. You went up to first of all, when Whitney says all of this, you start screaming. And then you go up to Justin and you start calling his wife an effing liar. What are you going to expect him to say? Are you expecting him not to defend his wife? That is why I do not think Justin should not be apologizing to Lisa Barlow. And wasn't John like, you apologize. Don't you say that to her. Don't you say the F word in front of my wife. She's the one who came up and dropped it on him. Hot. Real hot. Like he was there minding his own business with the drink. And then she comes over and starts screaming. So, So also, Meredith, listen, you better thank A.I. Nick Lachey that he went on that podcast and talked about Brooks, because girl, you don't have a storyline this season. I don't know why she's even a full-time. Based on this season, she needs drop down to friend of. She is bringing nothing. By contrast, I'm going to tell you, I don't like the woman. I'm not a fan of hers at all. But we're getting more of a storyline from a friend of Brittany. We're getting more from Brittany. Once again, not saying I like her, but we're getting more content. We're getting more of a storyline from Brittany than we are getting from Meredith. Meredith is almost on the same level of Maylee, which I don't even know that you could call Maylee a friend of, because Maylee's on here and there. She's popping up here and there. I say if this continues, next year, put Meredith Marks. It pains me to say it because she's iconic. I mean, she's somewhat iconic. Pains me to say it, but if she keeps it up, put her down. Put her down to friend of. Okay. And also, listen, here, I'm gonna say this as well. Brooks is grown. I am a person that says don't bring the kids into it. Brooks is grown. Brooks has inserted himself before. I'm just saying. Like when Teresa Giudice's daughter, who is it? Gia. When Gia Giudice, was on there. Listen, if you're going to be on the TV show and you're older, you're grown, fend for yourself. There have probably been times when he has benefited from it. So I'm just saying. Okay, so Bronwyn FaceTimes Todd, and those, I'm going to tell you, yet another episode where my love for Bronwyn Newport just grows, because didn't she have on those pajamas? And then the dog's pajamas are the exact same ones as hers. I swear to God, I love Bronwyn. The week that has been from Tuesday to now, there have been few things that have brought me joy. And I'm going to tell you, one of those is reality TV, okay? Another thing, a subset of that, is Bronwyn. This whole episode, Bronwyn. But those matching pajamas of those dogs, I swear to God, I love them. I love it. I love it. So we find out Mary isn't going to be going on the trip because she's spending time with Robert Jr., which makes sense. People were like, what do you mean spending time? People on, like, I'm going to call it Twitter, formerly Twitter, were saying, what do you mean spend time with him? He's just upstairs in his room. But from what I understand, I didn't know this, but he had been, I don't know when it happened, but he had checked into rehab to get help with his issues. So I wouldn't take all the time that you need, Mary. I mean, I miss her when she's not in episodes now, but that's much more important. And like I said, Heather's not going. Why would you even invite her though? She's not part of a couple. So why would you invite her? Okay, so they get the PJ. They get the private jet to Palm Springs. Classy. Listen, nobody on this show can compete with Bronwyn's wealth. With Bronwyn and Todd on the wealth scale. I mean, don't try, Lisa Barlow. So they get 2 cars. Of course, they're not going to have everybody in one car because nobody can get along. The second car has Meredith and Lisa, and the first car has everybody else. So in the first car, Bronwyn had said she talked to Lisa and Meredith on the plane, told them about her discussion with Heather. Lisa immediately took up with Heather, which is no surprise. She was like, Heather, when Heather is a friend, Heather is such a good friend. She, on the flip side, made no attempt at having Bronwyn's back. Bronwyn was hurt by this, was hurt by Lisa's reaction. And I don't blame her, because Lisa completely listened to Heather's side of the story, couldn't even be bothered with asking about her side of the story, couldn't hear it, didn't have any time for it. I would be hurt too. They get to this house, this villa, damn, I'm gonna tell you, $20,000 per night. They got a pool, they got a pond, like their own private little lake, little pond, and it got stables with horses. All of this. And Meredith's upset that she don't have a bathtub. $20,000 a night. You got a private chef. You got a pool. You got a jacuzzi. You got a lake with like paddleboard and all kind of, water sports. You got horses. But there's not a bathtub. Oh my God, you'll live without a bathtub. Listen, Todd and Bronwyn, they're paying all this damn money. You get a free trip. They get there, and then Lisa and Meredith completely go off on their own, separate from the others. You need to be a little bit more grateful, a little more thankful. And I understand with Lisa, if it's awkward being around Whitney and Justin, but if that's the case, why even go? Why are you even going? You're not engaging with anyone. Why go? Why did you even go? You and Meredith could have stayed home. And listen, Heather, whenever, with the first and only time we see her this episode, which I didn't miss, she, back at the spot, she was giving, for me, she was very much giving like pick me vibes. Like, oh, I guess, oh, are you guys still going on that trip? She went there in the hopes of convincing them to not go on the trip. Therefore, in her eyes, that would ruin the trip for Bronwyn. You know that's why. But I understand. I understand if it would be awkward. But if it would be awkward, why even go? And we also find out that here's another reason why I don't trust Lisa Barlow. She says to Meredith, well, we're going to Europe. Why don't you meet us there? We're going to be in Italy, but we're not going to be there that long because I don't like Italian food. I don't like it. I don't like Italian food. As someone who is part American, who is part Italian, what the fuck? Who? And then we find out the reason why she doesn't like Italian food is because it's too fresh. It's too fresh. It's too fresh. You like, now listen, from time to time, I do enjoy Wendy's chicken nugget, but they're not fresh. Okay, that's all I'm saying. F.I. She's a fucking idiot. And happy anniversary indeed, Bronwyn. Didn't Todd have somebody come over from a jeweler from Los Angeles, come in, bring in 2 pieces of jewelry that he could be purchasing for Bronwyn, and to the tune of $4.4 million. We're talking about a $4 million opera necklace, $4 million opera necklace, and a $1.4 million pair of stud earrings. Wow. So listen, here's another thing that made me laugh. This made me laugh quite a bit, which I've truly appreciated last night. Very much so. But yeah, because I watched this last night. I watched this full thing last night. But they're over here, they're talking about, very quiet over here, they're talking about the jewelry. And then over here, Angie, I thought this was hilarious. Angie and AI, Nick Lachey, what's his name? Sean. I think it's Sean. It is Sean. She's like thinking that she's gonna be able to play volleyball because her dad was the MVP for the Greek volleyball team. And it turns out, no, she ends up throwing it in the water, in the lake. So she gets on that big like water trampoline, or that big, water floaty, and is smacking. She's over there smacking the paddle on the water to get the ball over to Sean, and she's like, yeah. And then you hear like that. And the lady, the jeweler's looking like, and you can see Todd is kind of like, what? I thought that was so funny. She's exerting all this energy to eventually get it back over to Sean. And then they get out and she goes and kicks it and it goes right back in the water. I thought that was hilarious. That was killing me. Okay, so there is bad news for Meredith. Seth, who works in Ohio, who not remote work from home at an Ohio company, but who goes to Ohio, he's gonna have to cut the trip short because he got to leave in the morning to go back to Columbus, Ohio. And she said something like, well, this you just got here. This whole thing doesn't add up. Is there something more below the surface to this, is what I thought. And then she says, this is just like what happened in Toronto. What happened in Toronto? To me, it seems like this is now the second time that Seth has taken a job in another state that keeps him away from his wife too much. Because he's spending like 5 days away from her. And he's like, her expectations are unrealistic. They're too high. No one can meet them. They're unrealistic. Listen, I don't think it's unrealistic that if you're married, you want to spend time with your husband. That to me isn't unrealistic. And why did you take the job? Because he said things like this are what led to problems in our marriage the first time. So why would you take another job then that's halfway across the country when you know that in the past it caused you problems? That doesn't make sense to me. There's no other jobs that are closer that you could get? That doesn't make sense. Another thing that doesn't make sense to me, Whitney had said a few times, had mentioned that Meredith is renting her house. If they have all this money, why are they renting a house? Why are they renting? Why don't they own a house? That doesn't make any sense to me either. Okay, so Whitney's right. Justin is never going to get an apology from Lisa. Like, Whitney thinks that Lisa owes Justin an apology. Listen, no. Was it? No, I have Bronwyn's right. Bronwyn's right. Justin is never going to get an apology from Lisa because Lisa never admits she's wrong. Just never. So it's two different camps here. So they're trying to break the ice. And who is it? It gets the Vita tequila. Angie. Angie goes in, gets some tequila shots. Of course, Vita tequila. I'm going to have to look around and see if I can find that someplace. If they even sell it anywhere. So she breaks the ice with that. The randomness with the randomness with Meredith. And this is what we're doing now. We're just getting random things that just pop up, like the podcast with Sean about Brooks and the marriage issues. And now that she got hearing aids. I got hearing aids and I can hear. Plus they double as AirPods. Okay. So they're sitting around the hot tub, the ladies, and Bronwyn goes to the restroom. Lisa says, I miss Heather. I wish she was here. Meredith does too. Whitney is the one who stands up for Bronwyn and says, well, listen, Bronwyn invited her over there and apologized, tried to make it better. Lisa Barlow, of course, stands up for Heather and because she's clean up her rectum and says, well, that's not what it sounded like to me. That wasn't my perception. That's not that's not what I heard. Well, that, of course, that's because you heard one side of the story. You're not looking at hearing anyone else's side of the story except Heather. So what does she do next? Bitch, you're on a trip with Bronwyn. Your friend is hosting and spending a lot of money on you to be there. And what do? You then get Heather on the phone on FaceTime. I'm going to tell you, if I was there, if I was Bronwyn, I would have come out and I would see her on that phone. I would have picked up the phone. I would have thrown it right in the hot tub. Right in the hot tub. But first, before that, I would have thrown it on the ground as hard as I could, and I would have thrown it in the hot tub. Absolutely. She got enough money. That's exactly what I could have done because we miss you. Listen, because she comes out, she's talking to her on FaceTime, and she sees that, and she's like, oh, excuse me, what's this? And then she says, we miss you, we wish you, we all miss you, we wish you were here, let's turn around. And then gets off the phone and sits there with a shit-eating grin, like she just ate a fresh shit sandwich, looking like, oh, what are you gonna do now, bitch? I called her. I know me, and I know probably everybody else was thinking, go in on her, Bronwyn. Because listen, if nothing else, this season has taught me Bronwyn Newport ain't gonna sit around and just let you shit all over her. Bronwyn Newport is gonna stand up for herself. Bronwyn Newport isn't gonna bow down to any OG. And that's why I love Bronwyn Newport. I'm gonna tell you, if Bronwyn Newport has a million fans, I'm one of them. If Bronwyn Newport only has one fan, I'm one of them. If Bronwyn Newport has no fans, I'm dead. I love Bronwyn because you know she's gonna come proper 10 toes down for her. So then she says in her confessional, I was coming out there and I saw this and I thought, did I say something wrong? And then she said, no, this bitch dead ass wrong. This bitch is dead ass wrong. So it is absolutely 100% shady and disrespectful that Lisa called Heather up and talking about all this. Oh, we miss you. We wish you were here. Ain't nobody, listen, not everybody misses her. As a matter of fact, as a viewer, I was perfectly fine. I didn't miss seeing her on there one bit. And so listen, when somebody talks badly about Lisa, Bronwyn stands up for her every time and defends her. Lisa doesn't do that for her. Bronwyn, if something happens with Lisa, Bronwyn checks in on her when she's jumped, when somebody does wrong to her. But it's not vice versa, okay? Even when Lisa is the one to cause it. Like Lisa is the one that started this whole thing with Gwen's grandmother. Still didn't check on her. Lisa says, I'm your friend. I am your friend. But I listened to my friend because she was hurt. Okay, so listen to Heather, but then also listen to Bronwyn because she supposedly is your friend. Bronwyn's not allowed. Heather's allowed to tell her side of the story. Bronwyn's not allowed to. And then all of a sudden, when she sees that she's not winning this and that she is getting eaten alive by Bronwyn, that's when she didn't want to get in the middle. I don't want to get in the middle. She moves to the other side so you can just talk to her. So she's not, in the beginning, she's all yelling. And then Bronwyn cut her down to size and she had to all of a sudden move over here. I don't want to get in the middle. I don't want to get in the middle of it. Okay. You inserted yourself in the middle by calling her. You did that. So Bronwyn is like, okay, so when I'm having a problem with people, it's on me to fix it. But if someone is talking shit about you, then I'm a terrible friend if I don't say anything. It's on me to fix that. No. And Bronwyn was done. And at that point, so was Todd. Good on you, Todd. Todd was like, listen, I told you, I don't want none of this damn foolishness. I've had enough drama in 3 hours for a whole weekend. This isn't gonna fly. This isn't gonna cut it. So he goes out, he tells John, listen, if Lisa can't tone it down, I'm not putting up with this. I'm gonna have to ask you guys to go. And before he did that, he was like, he told Bronwyn, we can give them money and get them a car, but they might have to just leave. I wouldn't even give them, listen, they're grown ass adults. It's not like this is a sleepover and everybody is 10 years old and they don't got money. They got money. They have enough money. If they need to get out of there, they can get out of there on their own, is what I'm saying. Now listen, in the comments, tell me what you thought of this week. of this week's episode, I'm going to tell you, I love Bronwyn. She is now probably officially my favorite. I'm not talking just newbies. I'm talking of active housewives from New Jersey, New York, Salt Lake, and Beverly Hills. Out of those ones, she's my favorite. Okay, if nobody told you yet today, you're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another. Also, be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of your surroundings. Be smart. Hydrate often with water. If you are in a situation that is dangerous, be it weather-related or otherwise, please be mindful, be aware, be smart, be safe. Love you guys. Dolly and I are sending our love and our prayers and our thoughts and our positive energy your way. Everybody, it's Friday tomorrow. Usually I am really interested in Friday. Not so much this time because it means it's the end of my vacation. I don't like that. So, okay, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow where I'll be talking about the Golden Bachelorette. Men tell all. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. There will not be a motivational mornings because I didn't really get anything done on it. I went and I got 2 vaccines. I got the COVID shot and I got my flu shot. So I was a little tired for today. So I'm like, eh. So we will see you tomorrow though for Golden Bachelorette. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.